Uh, good morning, hello, welcome to OBC Midweek News. Me and Martin here to give you a bit of an update and say hello to you. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Life's been busy in ministry. And particularly, Martin, you wanted to just talk a little bit today about pastoral care, because you've just come from a pastoral care meeting, which I wasn't able to be with you for, but sort of recognising the huge and overwhelming needs that are going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the pastoral care meeting happens, regularly, and it's good to catch up with those involved in the pastoral care team. But we always emphasise, actually, that pastoral care is not just for older friends. Of course, it includes older friends and their particular needs, and they're a very valuable part of the church. But it is pastoral care for the whole church.
Yeah.
So, for you, Phil, for you personally, with college going on, all the demands of training for ministry, but also
family.
You not being well yourself,
No.
And your young family, the children are
Constantly unwell. Yeah.
Well, so it ranges right across the ages, and we want to be concerned for the whole church.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are such a multicultural, diverse, all-age church, aren't we?
Yes.
And that's such a blessing that we have people here as young as, I'm trying to think of the newest baby, that would be Catherine Bacon's little Florence, number of weeks old, and then people well into their 90s as well, and everything in between. And the needs are vast. They are vast. And I think people think of pastoral care and think looking after the old people.
Yes.
I think there's that stigma, isn't there, attached to it, which is part of it, but that's not it, is it? There is so much more, like you say, and there's a need for not just the pastoral care team, which is obviously yourself, myself, David, Addy Sadipi, Janice Cotton and Sue Davis, but actually there's a need for the whole church to be pastoral, isn't there?
Yes, it very much is, and we can't do it without the church family's involvement, and also that includes things like our life groups, which are really important, our prayer ministry team, and just everybody that cares to be, a caring church family together. And remember, it's not just about physical need, it's about mental and emotional, spiritual need too. So we want to be a church that's known for its love and its sense of church family, and I think we are.
We are, absolutely.
But it's just encouraging all the time.
Yeah, and whilst I say there's a vast amount of needs, and it's a big thing to deal with. Actually, it's important that we know people's needs so that people can reach out and help, isn't it? I think a lot of us, I think men actually a lot worse than women, of not telling people the need and keeping things bottled up, and especially with mental health, supposedly. But it's important that as a church we respond to the need, and we can only do that if we know of the need. So it's really nice to emphasise once again how much we want to hear from people and just know of your concerns and problems, so that we can help and bless you in any way. And if in some people's cases who don't need support, they just want to get on with it themselves, we can hold you in prayer, and that's the most important thing we can do. So pastoral care is, it's a real caring church, this, Martin. It really is, and I think it's one of the most valuable assets of this church. It really does care, not just outward looking, which we always want to be, but inward looking especially. We really, really care.
Yes, that's absolutely true, and we make it, a priority to be available to people, and you just need to text or phone or send us a message, email, whatever you want to do, and we will respond. And it was great to have that welcome reception too. It was on Sunday. And
lovely
again,
to
a
meet
real
new friends.
Diversity of new friends,
age as well, young children to elderly as well, which again is just incredible. And actually, we were hoping to have more because there were a few new families
Yes.
that we were wanted to be there, but they're unwell, so couldn't make
Yeah.
it. And again, it's
One
just
child with chicken pox and
Yeah.
another with coronavirus.
with COVID.
I'm
Wow.
told, yeah.
Okay. Goodness me. Well, bless them indeed. But yeah, it's getting to know people here has become much easier in the last couple of weeks because we've now serving refreshments again, and actually it makes a huge difference. For 2 years, we haven't been able to do that, even when we've been open. And so now that we can have a cup of tea with someone, you can have your caffeine fix after the service, which you're in need of. But we can just, sit down and have a chat with people. And in the past, it's more of a case of getting people out quickly because of the concerns. So it's lovely that that's back, because I think that helps with the pastoral care and the concerns that we have for other people. So the welcome reception was lovely. And I'm sure we'll be doing more soon. We could probably do our own welcome reception for people online that are new and they've got to know us in the last 2 years.
That's interesting,
Because
isn't it? Yes.
that would be really interesting.
Yes.
Anyone
Welcome
that's
to you.
not, welcome to all of you. If you're not part of OBC physically, because you may live afar,
Yes.
get in touch and we'll try and do a Zoom welcome meeting, because that would be great. We would really love to get to know people that we don't see.
We would indeed.
It
Yeah,
would be
that's
lovely.
a great idea. Actually, did that just come to you?
That just came to me
Wow,
as we were
that's,
talking.
That's an
It's a
inspiration.
bit of a light bulb moment. Yeah. And there. So, Martin, this Sunday we've got a busy day, and it's not going to be as busy as the postman is for me on the Monday when he delivers all my Valentine's cards.
Oh yes,
I
of
mean,
course.
you have to say a prayer for him because has a really bad back after that day. I get thousands, absolutely thousands. It's
Wow.
horrible.
Wow.
But there's a real focus this Sunday on love, which is focusing rightly so on God's love. We've got 2 services.
Yeah, we the all age celebration and the parade in the morning, and the theme is "All You Need Is Love." Some of you remember that's a Beatles song.
Yep, love is all you need.
Love is all you need. And then in the afternoon at 3:00, I'm not sure whether it's worth going home actually. After you're welcome to bring your sandwiches and stay. If you're coming to the golden service at 3:00. Traditional golden service, really appreciated by many older friends, particularly.
And a life group is serving tea and cake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Lovely.
and different cakes this time. We've got on order as well. So, and the theme there is Love Divine. So, all around Valentine's Day, really. But looking forward to it.
I love the family services that we've had recently. I think we had one in Remembrance in November and Nativity December, and this one
Yes.
around love. They've got a real sense of lively, sort of active worship. I mean, not that every other service isn't, but it's really kind of on fire, should I use the phrase. And I'm really grateful to actually Dan and his team, the worship group, who are making the worship so fantastic. And for me personally, that it's so easy to fall deeper into worship when they are all on point, which more often than not they are. And we welcome someone new to the worship group Sunday just gone, our friend Cliff. So it's just great, the worship group's expanding and God's doing great things through it. So yeah, this Sunday will be a busy service. We encourage you to get to church early and get your seats, because the middle section, if you didn't know, will be taken up by our Boys and Girls Brigade, who will come in and it's lovely to see them. And if the weather's good, they'll be marching and playing their music outside the church as well. So my son loves that. He particularly loves when they play the drums and they hold the drums under the noses. You'll always hear my son shout out, "Under the noses," as the drumsticks are held where the moustache is. But it's great that they're here, and we encourage them always.
Yeah, I hope the sun's shining for them, because it would be great to see them march around the block again as well.
It's been so long.
I don't think they've done that yet.
No,
have
they haven't. I think one of the reasons being is that they want it to be drilled so that they do it well.
Oh, okay.
Not
Right.
just the weather, which has been a
Yes.
factor as well. So yeah, good weather would be good, but good weather's not needed for our online ministry. And on Thursday we continue our online course, which has taken off really, really well, Martin, I must say. An ethics course on what would Jesus think. And for those that haven't seen what we've been doing in the past, there are adverts everywhere on our website and on social media, but it's 9 different modules on 9 different subjects, all to do with topical things that we will talk about in this day and age, but we want to revert it back to what Jesus would think about them. And we've been really encouraged by the feedback, but also very grateful for the help we've had from other ministers. And this Sunday, arguably the most...
Yes.
Sorry, this
Yes.
Thursday. Sorry, Martin. The most topically spoken about, even though probably wasn't in Jesus' speaking much, but we speak about it much, and that's sexuality. The regional Baptist minister, Carol Bostridge, gave us a fantastic interview about it, didn't she?
And we're going to share that interview with the course. About 40 people.
Yeah,
coming.
give or take. Yeah, give or take. And we watched the video, 20 minutes long or so, and then random breakout rooms with some questions put together by us that you may want to consider as you discuss it.
Yeah.
And I think particularly for this week, there's an emphasis on being sensitive.
Yes.
Isn't there? More
Yes,
so
there is.
probably than any other subject, because people have different opinions, which is
Yes.
fine, and we welcome them, and it's great to discuss. But we have to be open to listening to other people's opinions and not belittling someone or condemning someone because of what they think is true.
Yes, and you never know what's gone on or going on in a person's life,
No.
do you?
No, you don't.
Or in the life of their family. So on the course, in terms of as we talk about sexuality together, there'll be parents, there may be people that identify themselves as gay as well within that group, and so we do need to be sensitive to one another and not judgmental, even though we want to come to a Christian viewpoint, but to do it with grace, which is the really good thing. Sometimes you hear people coming to a Christian viewpoint with sort of
Bitterness and
aggression
anger.
and
Yes.
bitterness and anger. Oh, Jesus is about as far away from that as you can get, I think.
Absolutely. So we encourage people to come along on Thursday, because it will be insightful. I think it will be helpful as we discuss these subjects in our lives as well. So really encourage people to come to that on Thursday, and then there's a week's break for half term before we continue the next 5 weeks. So a really good course, Martin. It's been challenging because all of our previous courses have been just taken from other companies.
It was another
haven't they?
light bulb moment, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think we were having lunch at an Indian, weren't we?
Yeah,
actually? We were talking about
light
it.
bulb moment.
Yeah. And we were like, what about writing our own course? What about ethics? Oh my goodness, what would Jesus think? And there we go. Here
It's
we
caused
are.
a lot of interest, actually, in other churches, as in churches together, and in the Baptist church family around the area, as they've sort of heard that we're doing this and thought, oh, maybe we could do that, something like that. So,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's great.
Interesting.
It's great because actually, it's easy to not do those things. It's easy to not talk about
Yes.
those things, but actually, it's important to talk about them.
Yes, it is.
And I'm glad we are doing it. So,
and not just for can I say, not just for grown-ups, but for young people as well. And there's a new life group in the offing, isn't there, for young people?
Yeah,
Phil?
Michael, our youth worker, is working on this new life group, which we hope to start the week after half term, and it will be a life group for 15, 16-year-olds, sort of your GCSE age years, maybe A-levels as well. But we think there's a need to go a bit deeper with these people, and actually some of these ethics subjects would be good to talk about as well. But Michael's putting things together. There's many things that he has got planned, I know, and he'll be working with one or two others to meet at the church and have this life group, this sense of fellowship for some of our young people who are seeking Jesus, which is just fantastic. So yeah, really pleased that will go ahead. Look out for more details about that actually as Michael progresses it.
That's great.
Martin, I have to say, I was really it was really lovely to pray for Remy on Sunday.
Yes, it was.
Remy's just, personally for me and my family, I speak that she's just a real blessing and a breath of fresh air, actually, in the way she lives her life. But it's great to have sort of commissioned her almost as she goes out on a mission trip herself.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a reminder, we began this broadcast by talking about perhaps being inward looking and caring for one another in pastoral care. Perhaps we're bringing it to a conclusion almost by talking about being outward looking, and Remy is part of that, and our mission trip and our engagement with mission partners around the world is really significant for us.
It is,
and is as much on our hearts and should be as much in our prayers as pastoral care is.
Yeah, and we pray God's blessing on her as she goes to Rwanda.
Yes.
On Saturday for a week, actually, amidst sort of so many problems as well. She's really taken up the baton, and we bless her as she goes. And actually, a couple of weeks later, one of our mission friends from Czech Republic comes over here to give us an update. Miriam Pasova. It's going to be lovely to see her again. Letting us know what's going on in the Czech Republic.
When is that? That's the 27th of February,
27th of Feb, yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
You've got a week off, mate.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
You take some time off. And then further later in the year, I hope to go on a mission trip myself to Zambia. So more details will come of that, I'm sure. And it is all fantastic. And there's so much happening at this church. We look forward in a month's time, actually, to a baptism. Our first one for a few months, but one that will be long remembered in the church, because the wonderful Catherine Donald. If you're not part of coming to this church and you don't know who she is, she's often at the front singing. Lovely, beautiful, blonde-haired girl at the front singing and leading worship for us with the most amazing voice. And she's finally made the greatest decision she'll ever make, and that's to take the big splash and get baptised.
Yes.
It's going to be a great service.
It will be.
And you know, OBC is firmly outward looking and inward looking in pastoral care, but also outward looking in wanting to reach many. And it's great that this online ministry continues. We are Bible based and we want to be contemporary and relevant. So we mark those things down as we move into this year, knowing that we want to reach as many people, young, new, old, you name it. We want you to know that God's for you, and God is love. And we really hope you can engage with us this week as we minister to you.
Bless you. It's great to be speaking to you today.
Take care.